This is Formula Side Quests, your mostly on-topic Formula One podcast, hosted by me, Kelly, and me, Shannon. And me, Shannon.
Today is a race roundup of Spa.
Spa, the Belgian Grand Prix.
Belgian Grand Prix. We've both been saying this week about how much we genuinely love Spa.
It's beautiful. For a start, before you go anywhere near the shape of the racetrack, the racing, the way that they go racing around it, it's just beautiful, set in the arse end of nowhere.
Yeah, literally.
Surrounded by trees and mountains, and it's just gorgeous. It's really, I want to go there just to visit it.
It's a European racetrack, and a European racetrack built properly.
Precisely. Exactly that, yes.
It's just gorgeous.
And then you look at the history of it and you look at the corners, and like Radion and Eau Rouge, am I right in saying that they haven't changed since 53 or something like that? Like
26.
Amazing. So we've been racing around that circuit in the same way for 100 years.
Well,
give or take.
Radion, Eau Rouge, and then other ones like the bus stop chicane.
Yeah.
They're pretty much since 1926.
And they're beautiful. And everyone loves this track. Everyone loves this track. Well, I'm not. There are a couple of drivers that might not be loving it anymore. But the drivers do have a real love of this track, and I think it says a lot when it's Max Verstappen's go-to track. Like, it's his favorite one, and if he's given a new sim setup, he gets in his sim and he drives it. It
at Spa. Yeah.
So yeah, beautiful circuit.
Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I know. This is a problem when we've still got it on. So we the race finished half hour ago.
Yeah. No,
45 minutes.
45 minutes ago.
So obviously we've still got the program on in the background. Currently, we're looking at Karun. Hi, Karun.
Hi, Karun.
We like Karun. Doing a wonderful playback. I genuinely do wish I had the setup.
The Sky Pad. We need a Sky. We need more than watching the Sky footage and then opening Instagram afterwards.
Yeah, no, we need more. We do need more.
We are leaving it on though because of this man here who's just come on the screen. There is a chance that there are going to be some after race penalties.
Yes.
That may appear before we finish recording. Then again, it's the FIA, and we all know that they take 5 billion years to make a decision.
Yes.
So possibly not. But we'll leave it on.
We'll keep it on just in case,
and see whether we can bring any news thereafter. So before we get into the race,
there is a lot to talk about.
There's a lot happened this weekend before we even got to Sunday. So
we're not even going to mention Max.
What, just in general? No, we are going to mention Max. Max is where I'm starting, Cal.
Max is yes,
Max is where I'm starting.
What I mean is, we're not mentioning Max and potential rumours because he was pissed off with that. But what we are going to mention,
is what happened in qualifying with the Red Bulls.
Yes.
So there was a plethora of grid penalties going on.
There was
this weekend. Actually, I'm going to mention the grid penalties before I mention Max because it makes more sense.
Correct.
So there was a lot of power unit changes, a lot of faffage.
A lot of
this, that, and the other. Normally, we get power unit changes before we get to Monza. Because everyone tends to fattle things, summer break and whatever. But because of the regs this year and everyone's lack of certainty, I guess, with everything that's going on, they seem to have, a lot of the teams have just sort of thrown the kitchen sink at it, because they're at that point.
Yep.
So Lance was supposed to have a 10 place grid penalty, but that doesn't matter, bless him, because he's at the back anyway.
Yeah, but also Alonso had a grid pace penalty as well.
Yeah.
Not for the power unit. I think Alonso was a gearbox change.
He was gearbox. Lance was power unit.
But
it was sort of, you looked at it and went, yeah, but they're going to be at the back anyway. So sorry, lads.
Sorry, boys.
Lando had a 10-place grid penalty for a power unit faffage. I don't think it was a change. I believe it was a faffage.
It was a faffage, but it was still because it was faffage of power unit.
Yes. So he actually had a pretty decent qualifying and ended up putting it P3. So he tumbled to 13th. But fair play to him for putting it up there, because they've been qualifying in like 4th, 5th, 6th recently. So he put in a pretty darn good lap to keep himself mostly well within the mix, and actually he had a very good race, but we'll come back to that. And then there was Isaac. Now Isaac, when I say kitchen sink,
yes,
I Red Bull went kitchen sink
and kitchen and bathroom
and half the sofa. Because he had a penalty for just about everything.
Yeah.
And the total amount of grid places was 30.
Yeah.
He had a 30-place grid penalty because they changed the power unit, they changed the gearbox, they changed the suspension, they like I say, kitchen sink.
Yeah.
So he had a 30-place grid penalty. So coming into qualifying, it was literally it's almost why are you bothering? You have to bother. You have to go out and qualify.
Yeah.
But it was almost, actually, you could go out and set a time and then put it in the garage and not bother because it doesn't matter. However, Red Bull had come up with a cunning plan.
And it was a very cunning plan.
It was a beautiful plan. So his only objective was to get himself into Q3.
Yep.
All he needed to do was not get knocked out previously. And then he became Max Verstappen's toe.
He did.
And it was beautiful.
Oh.
It was so beautiful.
Oh. And even afterwards, Max coming over the radio and going, that was a toe and a half.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So he positions himself beautifully. The beauty of Spa is it's such a long track that you don't get traffic,
no,
particularly. So they position themselves beautifully to give them a load of clean air. Isaac slots himself nicely in front of Max, and he tows him along for probably a good half a lap.
Yeah.
So Isaac's in full push to punch that hole in the air for Max. On the Radian straight, Max is round him to complete his lap, and holy shit!
Yeah.
Holy shit! Did he post a lap?
Yeah.
It was very good. And it could have been pole.
Could have been pole.
But Kimi was just.
He was just. And it was literally tenths of a second.
It was 3/10, I think, wasn't it?
Bastard.
But fair play to him. No, we like Kimi.
We like Kimi.
Be nice to the baby. But we were sort of, initially, we went, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not sure how I feel. Sacrificing Isaac in that manner for Max, that feels very Christian Horner, Red Bull second seat days.
It did.
Like, it gave us the ick initially. And the initial conversation we had was, oh no, I don't know. And then we looked and we realised that he had a 30-place grid penalty, and it literally didn't matter where he put that car. He could have put that car in the other side of France, and it wouldn't have mattered.
But what's really interesting is because of how the grid pace penalties work, he actually didn't end up last.
No, because
he was 19th.
Because, of course, Fernando Alonso ended up last. Like, honestly, what does that man have to do right now?
No, he wasn't 19th, sorry, was he? He was 21st.
He was 21st.
Because he was in between the Astons.
Yeah, he split the Astons. It was hilarious. It's like, poor Nando, what does that man have to do? My God. But yeah, so
I honestly think he was deliberately trying to sabotage his race so he could go home early and watch the football.
I completely agree with you. And then his teammate DNFs and not him. I bet he was seething.
Furious.
Absolutely furious. And then he said, and I've been thinking about this since the podium, he said, I'm flying back with Charles.
Oh my God, he did.
Yeah. And he said, I think he said Charles, George and someone else. Lando, yeah, and he's like, if they're on the podium, then I'm going to have to wait for them. So I'm not going to get back for the football. Well, George DNFs, I bet he's dancing. That's one less person I have to
Well, that's
deal
very
with.
true, yes.
Lando didn't make it to the podium, although he did a damn good race.
He did, yeah, we will.
So he's dancing at that, and Charles is like almost winning it.
Yeah.
Poor Nando. I don't know whether he's going to make it home for the football. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
Hilarious. So fair play to Red Bull for the tactic that they chose.
Genuinely, like you were saying, we were watching it not live on Sky. We were watching the telemetry on the F1 app, and we were kind of like, not getting the full picture, but still, we had a good understanding of what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's always tricky because when you don't see what's going, we would have visibly been able to see that Isaac was giving Max a tow. All we looked at was, well, he didn't pull out a very good quali lap.
Yeah.
Not realising that he didn't bloody try.
Yeah.
And then we saw very quickly afterwards, we saw what had happened. So, yeah, I you can't really argue with it as a concept.
And I've got to give it to them as well. Their strategy for the race, not just with Isaac, but with Max as well.
Sorry, a butterfly has just entered my... Oh, it's left again.
All right, good. Their strategy with both drivers was on point.
They were Hannah earned her keep this weekend. She really did. It was excellent.
She's
strategy.
Bloody good.
She's bloody good.
She is so bloody good.
So that was quality. So we actually ended up with a pretty weird midfield. It didn't really affect the top too much.
No, but it was nice.
Mercedes Ferrari, but it shook up from about fifth down.
Yeah.
Because a Red Bull was wildly out of position and McLaren was wildly out of position. And Gabby got through to Q3.
And Gabby had an amazing qualifier.
Yeah.
He got into P8 and it was brilliant, but don't give me the look. It was a slightly bizarre.
No, it was. No, that's fair.
Fantastic. Genuinely, we love Gabby. We love Audi. We love Nico. It was just bizarre to see such a gappage between Gabby and Nico.
It was because as I've joked for the last however many episodes, Audi qualifying 11th and 12th is just sort of a given. They just don't have quite enough to make it into Q3, but they're better than the rest of the people in Q2.
Yeah.
And it was just...
They just needed a little extra, and Gabby got it.
But Liam didn't have it, and that's what let Gabby slip through.
Exactly.
It was still on complete merit of Gabby's driving, but Liam just kind of lost something in that quali that meant that he didn't make it through. And it's usually the racing balls pipping the Audis to the post. Yeah. So I think that was the thing that allowed it. But I think Gabby really, really showed his hand this weekend. He finished P8, so he's finished with a decent set of points again for the second week in a row.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Nico didn't make it into the points, but I truly believe that's not a comment on Nico's driving, but I could be very delulu on that one. I don't know enough about what's going on in Audi. But I think Gabby really has been starting to show, getting used to this reg set.
Yeah.
Getting used to the car is really starting to show what he can do.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
It'll be really interesting to see what happens next year.
Yeah.
With Audi and Gabby specifically.
Yeah.
So no, he had an amazing race. But anyway, let's actually get into the start of the race.
So,
because there is a lot.
It was a very exciting race, actually.
Yes.
A very action-packed race. Sometimes in ways we didn't want it to be.
Yes.
So they line up on the grid, and good God, could Max and Kimi have made their intentions clearer to each other?
Oh my God. It was like literally them trying to draw the tip of an arrow.
Yeah.
They were so pointed inwards towards each other that if we'd had a good overhead camera look, it would literally look like the tip of a fucking arrow.
It really, it was quite...
They were so pointed.
We keep saying Kimi's drawn a lot from Max in the way that he drives.
Yeah.
So then when you throw in the fact that he's fighting Max, it's sort of one of those, oh, this is going to be disastrous if we're not careful, but also incredible if we are. And luckily, they were careful, and it was incredible.
It was.
There were some moves that they did on each other that were just magnificent, but so respectful.
Yeah.
Like, it was, and I very much always feel that with Kimi and the older drivers that he's looked up to for years and is now racing against, and more than that, beating.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much sort of, he races with so much respect for who they are and what they've done in their careers, but equally they race him with so much respect of like, it's the baby,
Yeah.
and he's doing incredibly well.
Yeah.
We're gonna give the space. So there was a lot of battling up there.
I mean, by the time they got to turn 5, Max in the front, and it was like, oh my god, Max is leading. This is going to be brilliant. But then obviously we had
shenanigans.
Yeah, okay, we'll go with that word. I was going to say an incident.
An incident. There were definitely a few of them.
Because there was a lot going on behind the two of them. Mainly, obviously, the well, I think unfair penalty.
Yeah, I would also say, yeah, okay, so let's unpack this, shall we?
Yeah.
So Max has managed to get past Kimi. So we have a Max, Kimi, George, Charles, Lewis situation.
Yes.
Then on the straight, George, it looks like they just turn off his fucking engine.
Yeah, he does sort of start to slow down, because then he's got Charles to the left of him and Lewis to the right of him, and Charles just goes
off, and just completely slingshots him.
Completely just bypasses him.
But then also manages, I'm not entirely sure how, but also manages in the time that Kimi's taken Max to slingshot Max as well.
Yeah.
So suddenly Max has gone from leading to being third with a Ferrari between him and Kimi within about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like an insane piece of racing.
And unfortunately, we couldn't really sort of sit there and go, wow, that was incredible racing from Charles.
No, because...
because... just a little bit back, we have Lewis and George still fighting each other.
Yeah.
And Lewis, it is, from my point of view, it is a racing incident. Lewis twitches a little bit, yes, but George was a little bit too close. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah.
But the end result is George gets clipped, spins, ends up in the gravel, complete DNF. We're not even finished lap 1.
No, and it is, I think it is the definition of a racing incident. I think you're correct, because when obviously Lewis gets a penalty for it, and gets a 5-second penalty for it. Now, from what Kareem was just saying then, it should have been a 10-second penalty, but because they were looking at it from there's quite a lot of racing incident in play here, they only made it a 5-second. Well, if you're acknowledging the racing incident level of it, then just don't give a penalty at all.
Yeah.
But from our perspective, from what we were watching, like you say, and George said this himself, and we'll come back to that in a second, that maybe George could have given a bit more space, maybe Lewis should have given the edge a little bit more, but it happened, and that's sort of it. And like you say, Lewis twitches, but Lewis twitches because he's lost traction.
Yes. He's not twitching because George is too close.
Yeah.
He's twitched because there is a slight issue with his battery deployment.
Yeah.
He's lost traction just slightly.
Yeah.
He's just fighting the car.
Yeah. It's none of it was purposeful, none of it was bad driving, none of it was, so it's a real and I completely feel for George on this one, because it was so not his fault and nothing he could have really done about it. That's racing. But the entire point of the way that the FIA give out penalties is that they don't consider the outcome. That's the entire way that they should be doing it. If they're giving out a penalty because someone who is very much in the championship battle DNF'd out of it, then they're doing it wrong. And it felt a little bit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, very much a racing incident, very much an unfortunate. What was very interesting is obviously then we got George in the media pen very quickly afterwards. exceptionally upset, which is completely understandable.
Yeah.
Exceptionally upset, but said himself,
Yeah.
it was a racing incident.
Yeah.
Maybe I could have done this, maybe Lewis could have done that, but it was a racing incident. He did not attribute blame either way.
No, he didn't.
But more to the point, he basically was saying, I shouldn't have been in that position in the first place.
Yeah.
What he was saying was, if he hadn't lost all of that power on the straight and had 3 cars just completely swallow him up instantly,
Yeah.
he never would have been battling Lewis into a corner to have spun off in the first place.
Yeah.
He was placing more blame on the fact that he was out of position than on the fact that there was contact.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting mental place to be.
So interesting. So interesting, because obviously we may have had in the past said a few things about George and his attitude.
Mm-hmm.
It's the nicest way of putting it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whilst we may have had digs at George and his attitude.
Yes.
Possibly even George and his driving.
Yes.
Possibly.
But Toto's making digs at George and his driving, so, you know.
When any driver, and it doesn't matter what you feel about that driver, when any driver has a DNF and then has that media interview almost straight afterwards, one, you've got to feel for them, because they're...
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't really matter where you are in the championship, whether you've got points or whether you're battling for the championship. It is shit to not finish a race.
It's like, leave the poor guy alone and give him 5 minutes.
You know?
Yeah.
And I mean, even when you've got, like, I'm really sorry, Lance, but when you've got Lance Stroll, for example, consistently going into the pits and parking up and having a cup of tea, you know?
Which happened this race.
Bless him. It doesn't matter whether you're in that position consistently or whether it happens once in a blue moon. It's still such a shock to your system, because at the end of the day, you are here for racing. You have had 3-4 days of being in a mental preparation state to be in that car, to race around this track. We're at Spa, it's 44 laps. I know exactly how many laps I need to do, where I'm going. I know all the corners. I have prepared for this. You're out.
Yeah.
And you haven't even finished lap 1.
It must be such an adrenaline drop.
Yeah.
Because you would hype yourself up so hard for what you're doing.
And we've seen it so many times in the past where that has happened for whatever reason, and drivers do get upset.
Yeah.
And there have been, again, so many times in the past where you get drivers who are just like, oh my God, I'm so pissed off and this has happened and blah, 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 blah. And then, whilst over the last, I'd say, 20-ish years, there has been a lot of PR media training, you still do get that show of annoyance.
Yeah.
And that tendency to lay blame at other people.
Yeah.
And when we heard George, we both just looked at each other and was like,
yeah,
that's not George Russell.
No.
That's not the George Russell that we know.
No.
And we have heard, and not just in the past, but this season so far.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, because we didn't get pictures. We only got audio because there was too much happening on track to draw the camera away at that point. It was so early on. And it just pulls at your heartstrings a little bit. It really does, because like you say, no matter what you think of that driver, you know personally how you would feel if you were in that situation, or how you had felt if you were in a similar situation with your own work or your own, whatever. That being like the rug being pulled out from under your feet without any like consent for it to do so. And it's really interesting what's going on within Mercedes and George specifically at the moment, because one minute it's like it's all the car, the next minute it's all his driving. One minute Toto's going, no, there's something fundamentally wrong with the car and we're going to fix it. The next minute it's, well, actually I would lay 50% of the blame on George's driving. Toto usually is the first person to go and defend his drivers to the hilt with anything, even if it's clearly like 100% their fault. He's usually the first person to try and find an out for them, a reasoning, an excuse. He's not protecting George in the way that he used to, and he's not protecting George in the way he's protecting Kimmy. And I think for George, that must be so rough, given how many years he's been there. He was a Mercedes junior driver before. He spent 2 years at Williams, then he went to Mercedes. Like, he's always been within that family. And then this kid, this child, this actual child,
that needs a haircut.
God, does he need it? If anyone's listening to this that has any level of input over there, which I really highly doubt, but could you grab hold of Oscar Piastri and Kimi Antonelli and give them a haircut, please?
Oh God, yeah.
Both of them just... Oscar's getting a middle part and he's getting curtains. Like, can we just... Are we waiting until summer? Oh no, Kelly, that's what it is. They're waiting until summer break to go to Charles's mum.
Oh yeah,
I forgot. They all go to Charles's mum.
They're all having a holiday in Monaco.
Yeah. Well, no, they all live in Monaco, babe. Ish. Off-piste, lost train of thought.
Kimmy still lives with his parents.
That's a really good point. He doesn't anymore. He's moved out now.
Yeah, okay. He still visits his parents every weekend that he's not racing.
Well, but they all visit Charles's mum for a haircut, you know.
That's very true.
Anyway, tangent. It must be so difficult for George that this child has come in and has just usurped him massively, especially after Kimmy didn't do a lot to prove a lot last season.
No.
Towards the end of the season, it was certainly, you know, getting better, but it wasn't like oh shit, look what's coming. He sort of come out of nowhere, and it must be for George so difficult. And then any time that he gets, you know, he qualified third. He had an opportunity to really do something here.
Yeah.
He had an opportunity to be on the podium again. He had an opportunity to keep the points differential fairly minimal. Completely taken away from him.
Yeah.
And then it just doesn't feel like he's getting the team support that he needs. But I don't know why, and I would love to be a fly on the wall in that garage. I would like to be the fly on the wall in every fucking garage at the moment, because there is shit going down in just about every single garage on that grid that I want to know about. There's
apart from racing bulls.
No, there's shit. No, did you not see the drama from last week?
No, have I missed stuff?
Yeah.
Oh my God, please do tell.
Are we side questing?
We're side questing.
So the racing bull drama. This is going to be such a long episode. I'm so sorry. We're on lap 1. How long have we been going for?
30 minutes.
Okay. Whoops. So the racing bull drama.
Yes. Hello.
I can't believe you didn't see this.
Well,
so they finished Silverstone 7th and 8th.
No, 6th and 7th.
6th and 7th. Arvid was 6th.
Arvid was 6th.
Arvid was 6th, and
Liam
was 7th. There's too many L's.
God damn you, F1.
God damn you, F1. All of the L's. And in the media pen afterwards at the end, Arvid was so pissed off, like so unbelievably unhappy. And all of the journalists were like, that was your best career finish. It's your rookie season. You are getting points consistently every race. What's going on? And apparently there's a hell of a lot of infighting between Liam and Arvid as to who's being favoured. And there was a lot of conversation about team orders and this, that, and the other, and that Arvid only passed Liam right towards the end. He'd asked for team orders because he felt he could go and get whoever was 5th. I can't even remember now. He felt he could go and get them and get even higher, but they refused to allow the team orders. But Arvid is unhappy.
Ah, okay. Well, never mind then. There seems to be shit going down in every single garage.
There's shit going down in every single garage. The only garage that I think would be relatively chill to be in right now is Haas. Because it's just sort of, they're probably exactly where you think they ought to be. And that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I mean, even after today, I wouldn't even say Cadillac.
No. Anyway.
Where were we?
Not a fucking clue.
Lap 1
was amazing.
Amazing. Because obviously we then had a safety car brought out.
So safety car. George brings out a safety car because his car is not in a safe place. So at this point, Red Bull pull in Isaac.
Yes, they do.
Twice.
Yes.
And this is fucking masterful. If anyone wants to understand why strategy sometimes is going to win you a championship, this is the example.
Yeah. 100%.
Absolutely gorgeous. So the rule is on a race like that, it changes per race.
It does.
For Spa, you have to run 2 different sets of tyre compounds that are dry. That not including the wets.
Mm-hmm.
So if it rains and you have to come out on wets, every rule about tyre compounds falls away because it's what's safe.
Yes.
So then you start using your wets and your inters and you're fine. But if it's a completely dry race in which weather's not going to come into play, they have to run 2 different types of tyre compounds that are dry. So they either need to do hards and mediums, mediums and softs, hards and softs, whatever combination it may be. Everyone started the race mostly on mediums, mostly. There was a few rogue softs down at the back.
Yeah, but mostly mediums.
They pulled Isaac in on lap 1 as soon as the safety car came out. And they
put him, well, he was actually on hards. No, he started on softs. I apologise because he was down in 20th.
Oh, he did. Yes, sorry. Yeah.
So they pulled him in and put him on mediums for 1 lap. And then they brought him in to put on hards so that he could finish the entirety of the race
on that set
of compounds.
So he's compliant with the rules because he's just run 2 different compounds of dry tyres, albeit for 1 lap, but they can't say he hasn't run them.
Nope.
1 lap behind the safety car.
It's still 1 lap.
Still ran them, pulled him in, like you say, put him on hards, and they sent him out for the rest of the race. He finished 6th.
He did.
He started in 21st.
Yeah.
Twofold thing. Number 1, that was his best chance of getting as high up into the points as possible, and it worked. Number 2, he became a guinea pig for Max to go, what are these tyres going to do?
Yeah.
How are these hards going to fare?
How long can we run these tyres before degradation starts becoming a problem? And genuinely, it was incredible to watch. We were very, very interested in tyre strategy this race.
I don't think I looked at much else. Tyres and timing towers, that's where my eyes were for the entire race.
Tyres and timing towers, that's going to be my autobiography.
Tyres and timing towers. That's a wonderful sentence. Damn.
But yeah, it's just... I don't think we've talked about tyres as much as we have during this race.
No, there was so much. There was so much like, what are they on? Oh, are they on that? Oh, that's interesting. Well, they're going to pit on this lap. Don't you think this lap? Oh no, well, I think if they're going to put this on, they're going to do this lap. We had more knowledge of tyre degradation in the last 2 hours than I've ever had in my life, because we were betting what laps people were going to start pitting and what compounds they were going to go on. And every time we got it right, there was this like slither of satisfaction in the room. Like, I told you it was going to be on that lap.
Yeah.
Really interesting. And I think what really shows with Lando on the screen just there.
Yes.
Lando started 13th, finished 7th behind Isaac.
Yeah.
Isaac finished 21st, finished 6th.
Started 21st,
finished 6th. And I think that's just such a a marker of what a good strategy can do, because the McLaren objectively is better than the Red Bull. Objectively.
Unless you're the FIA, in which case the Red Bull engine is better than everybody else's. We're not going to go back into that.
No. We've ranted about that one. We're not going to go there again.
But yeah, so the Lando strategy was put him out on hards, run the hards for as long as possible, and bring him in and then put him on mediums.
Yeah, and leave him to the point in which we're going,
yeah.
Guys?
Now, I understand that the pit window for your hards was anywhere between lap 24 and lap 30. They bring him in on lap 31.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, if I was a strategist at McLaren, I would have brought him in slightly earlier so that his mediums would have had a little bit longer to heat up to the optimum temperature. There is also the issue of the pit stop of Lando Norris, in that they had
very good point.
An issue in the left
rear.
Yeah, left rear tyre. Couldn't get the nut off, couldn't get the nut back on.
Because they left the tyres on
for too long. And
actually, now I'm thinking about it, the gap that he finished to Isaac was like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
He lost 5 seconds in that pit stop.
Yeah.
So he would have easily had Isaac if they hadn't been
So if they'd brought him in on lap 28
and not had a slow one,
which they probably wouldn't have had because the tyre degradation would have been such an issue,
he would have been up to 6th, and then the next person up the road would have been his teammate.
Exactly.
It's interesting, isn't it? See, strategy
is so important.
Strategy is so important, and it is genuinely so interesting because normally strategy plays into tracks that you can't overtake on.
Yeah,
because that's the only way that you're going to jump anyone.
Yeah,
because otherwise you just train following each other in circles because you can't overtake them. Spa is an overtaking circuit.
Oh God.
Spa is one on the calendar that's like there are overtakes left, right, and centre. You can do it anyway. Jesus Christ, Oscar overtook someone.
Oh.
In the dip after Eau de Rouge before the Hill of Radion. It was the most beautiful pass I've ever seen in my life, and actually I want to see it again, and no one's shown it yet.
It was gorgeous.
It was stunning. This track is like overtaking central. So the fact that actually this race was basically won or lost on strategy is so interesting.
Yeah.
And shows how shit these cars are.
Yeah, again, we're going back to the argument about the new regulations.
The new regs.
No, we're not. Anyway, we're going to move on to the race.
We are going to move on to the race. I'm so sorry because we're still only on lap 3. So
it's fine. We'll quickly.
So, Charles and Oscar have a bit of a ding dong.
Yes,
back and
they
forth.
do. Yes,
it was all completely legit and safe, and no one touched anyone really. But
yeah, Oscar certainly didn't lose a bit of his front wing.
No, that didn't happen at all.
And of course, they were investigated. And guess what? It was just a racing incident, and there was no penalties.
But then 2 laps later, Lewis's penalty comes in.
Yes.
So at this point, we're going, shit. Both Ferraris are going to get a penalty because the commentary box was convinced.
Yes.
Convinced.
Absolutely.
That Lewis wasn't
yes.
going to get one and Charles was.
Yes.
Then Lewis got one and Charles was still under investigation.
Yes.
And we were like, shit. Both of them are going to have one. This is it. It's so over. Like, it was going to be double Ferrari podium and now it's so over. Like, this is insane. But Lewis then came on the radio and starts going, I'm faster than Charles. So Lewis starts calling for team orders. I turn to you and I say, prediction.
Mm-hmm.
If Charles does get a penalty, they're going to team order.
Yes.
If he doesn't, they're going to let him run.
Mm-hmm.
Lewis starts calling for team orders and I'm like, because I just hate team orders, full stop.
Yes.
But B, you don't team order my boy Charles Leclerc.
I mean, okay, I will write into Ferrari and tell them that.
If you could, you do not team order my boy Charles
Leclerc. By the way, Fred.
Oh, oi, Fred,
listen. Right? Whatever you do.
It didn't work with Charles and Carlos. It's not going to work with Charles and Lewis. You don't do it. No. But then Charles didn't. No. It just didn't. And I'm going to be entirely honest, despite the fact that he's my boy, he deserved the penalty more than Lewis did.
100%. 100%.
He didn't leave Oscar enough space.
He did not leave Oscar enough space.
It was not a car's width.
No.
So baffled is what I'd say. So then I felt like we could settle in a little bit after that. Because it was like, okay, so Charles not going to get one. Lewis has got to serve his. We're gonna take a break. Like, we've reached the midpoint of the race. The pit window's about to open. Let's just take a breath and Max comes in on lap 18.
Yes. Now we weren't expecting that.
We weren't expecting that. It was a lot earlier than we were expecting because we thought he was going to run the mediums longer to give the hards, more of a longevity chance at the end / fresher chance at the end. But he comes in on 18, which is very interesting. Lap 19, there's this strange thing between the McLarens where we're like, are they being team ordered? Are they just passing? Yeah. Was that a pass or was that a team order? So Lando was behind Oscar.
Yes.
And sort of went past him. And it felt too easy to be an overtake, but felt too clunky to have been team orders. And then within half a lap, Oscar's back in front of Lando again. And it's like, oh, what's going on here? And then about 10 laps later, Will's on the radio to Lando going, we're not doing this. We're not having yo-yo racing. We're not having a 1 minute you're in front, the next minute Oscar's in front, and then you have to use your deployment to get back at each other. We're not doing it. I'll explain why later. You don't need to explain why later. You're just not doing it, and that's the end of it, surely.
Again.
So what's going on in McLaren?
Yeah.
It's kind of mad. Because I don't... Again, Oscar's point of view, right? You were this close to the championship last year.
Yeah.
This close. And your team's meddling messed it up for you a couple of times. But you were still a hair away from having it. And you drove spectacularly well, and you deserved it as much as your teammate deserved it, as much as Max Verstappen deserved it. And now you come into a new set of regulations, and you're not even vaguely there. Not even vaguely there. Is your current standing world champion teammate being treated better than you?
Yeah.
Question to the floor.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No. And do you know what? This season, it really does show the discrepancies in how people are being treated. Like George and Kimmy, for example, and Lando and Oscar. I think, to a certain extent, Charles and Lewis.
See, that's a really interesting one, because what do you do there? 7 (8) times world champion.
Yeah.
The man that has been loyal to you since birth.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do?
But what I'm getting from, as a fan, as a watcher, what I'm seeing in Ferrari at the moment, and you are very welcome to disagree with this if you wish.
You heard it here first. She said it. I had a mouthful of water and I couldn't get there in time. You heard it here first.
What it seems to be happening in Ferrari at the moment is Lewis is under the impression that they are favouring Charles. Charles is under the impression that they're favouring Lewis. And because Ferrari strategists are fucking shit, nobody can actually tell which one is true.
I'm not going to disagree with the second part of your statement there whatsoever. I think I might disagree with the first part. Charles is the favourite, and he knows it.
I don't think so. I think at the moment he's seeing a lot of the garage, and obviously with all of the changes that Lewis has made to his team, he's seeing a lot of that side of the garage.
Okay,
and,
yeah.
You know, the
culture change.
The culture change, the shift in perception to how Lewis is treating others and how they are treating Lewis. And if he's not seeing the same sort of happenings in his side of the garage, and that's nothing to do with him as a person, it's more to do with how Ferrari are and how fucking shit they are. You know, I think we know how he gets into his head.
Who are we on, Charles or Lewis?
Charles. Monaco.
Oh, you bitch.
I'm just putting it out there.
Why would you do that to me?
We know how he gets into his head. I think he's starting to get into his head.
I don't like you anymore. I don't want to do this podcast anymore.
Shut up, we've got to finish.
Have Shum instead. He'll have opinions. No, I know what you mean, but then he won Silverstone.
I know he won Silverstone.
No, but so I think he was starting to, and then he won Silverstone, and then he got a P2. It was almost a P1. So I think he might be coming back out the other side of it. I don't think he's gone so far and so deep with getting into his head that there's no turning back. He is the golden child of that team. For better or for worse, he's not going anywhere.
stupid man.
A stupid man. And I think he knows that.
Well, that he's a stupid man.
No, he
does he listen to us?
Doesn't know that he's a stupid man because he signed that contract.
No, that's very true.
That probably goes into the 2030s. I can see what you mean about the culture change in Ferrari and how Lewis has started to do that on his side of the garage. And maybe he wants to start picking some of that up, and maybe he wants to start moving some things around on his side of the garage. But I don't think he thinks that Lewis is the favourite. I think Lewis thinks he's the favourite. Lewis thinks Charles is the favourite, and he would be correct. I don't know. It's interesting. I can't even remember how we got here.
No, I can't remember how we got here anyway. All right, what was the next part? What happened next? We've just gone.
Oh, Ferrari did a stunning double stack.
Oh, they did.
Except for when it then became not stunning.
Yeah. So obviously Charles comes in first.
Oh, under a VC, may I just add?
And under a virtual safety car.
It's I keep calling it a VC. It's a VSC.
It's a VSC. There was just bits on the track.
It was gravel and bits and pieces and debris, and Spa's very gravelly. So they brought them in under the virtual safety car because it saves a molecule of time.
Well, 11 seconds out of a 23-second potential pit stop. If you
not bad,
So you're halving your pit stop time, so it made sense.
It was only 2 laps after Max came in, so they were mentally thinking about.
They were going to start bringing them in anyway.
Yeah.
Just so happened the virtual safety car came out. It made it a little bit easier. As Martin Brundle called it, a cheap pit stop.
A cheap pit stop, indeed. Yes, yes.
So, yeah, obviously Charles was going to come in first because by this time Lewis has been served a 5-second penalty. Charles comes in, bish bosh bash, out.
Yeah, 2.3. Gorgeous, lovely, stunning. Lewis, and I just love the camera angle.
Oh, it was brilliant.
Because you get your fast pit stop and it's amazing. But the shot of the car is covering your view of the pit lane. So Charles comes out, and just as he does, there's Lewis looming in the background. It was a fantastic. The gap between them made for a fantastic double stack.
Yeah. And then obviously Lewis had to sit there for 5 seconds. And
no touchy.
They start. It looked good. And then the camera pulled away. And then all of a sudden we're like, what? Why did he end up having a 5.6 second pit stop on top of the 5-second penalty? So 10.6 altogether.
Yeah, because it looked like he was in for a good 2.2, 2.3 as well.
Exactly.
And then the camera pans back to the replay.
Yep.
And the green light goes, Lewis starts moving. Unbeknownst to him, a mechanic has leant back in to do a front wing adjust, and Lewis catches him with his wheel.
Yeah.
And this poor guy, proper flips.
Yep.
Luckily he was okay, no injuries.
Fine, yeah.
But obviously Lewis then goes, hesitates, stops.
He stops.
And they're like, no, go. And immediately Lewis is on the radio going, is he okay? Did anything? They're like, what? And he was like, the green light was on.
Yeah.
The green light was on.
Yeah.
And this is the penalty that we're potentially waiting for.
Yeah.
They're being investigated for unsafe release. Now, the thing is it was like there's no driver error there whatsoever. Lewis moved on his green light as he should. It's the team's fault. So what they're debating now is what kind of penalty that comes with. Does it come with a team fine? Or does it come with a driver penalty to penalise Lewis? Because obviously you penalise a driver, it penalises the team. You penalise the team, penalises the driver. It does. But Lewis doesn't deserve.
No, and especially considering he had that 5-second penalty, which again we both think he didn't deserve.
Yeah.
And he still managed to have a really good race, like a really good race.
Yeah, he did.
And he was not just having a good race, he was a consistent racer. And I think where he finished 4th.
Well done.
Thank you.
That took so much brain power. I watched that happen.
He finished 4th, just above Oscar Piastri.
Yes.
He's, I want to say, about half a second ahead.
Oh, Oscar was coming for him. Give him 3 more laps and...
So if he gets any sort of time penalty, he's buggered.
Yeah.
He's lost 4th. And
completely. I think he'll be sixth,
seventh,
maybe even
possibly seventh, because I can't remember where Isaac came in after Oscar.
No, neither can I. But so the championship now, because George has just had another DNF and Kimmy's just got another win, so there's now a 50-point gap between teammates on that one. But it's moved George down to third and brought Lewis into second in the championship, which, Jesus Christ, did I ever think that was possible? Absolutely mental. So now there is a quick math, a 45-point gap between Lewis and Kimmy.
Right.
So 2 race wins. But there is only a 4-point gap between George and Lewis. So it would make a hell of a lot of difference to the championship if they then decide that Lewis takes a
5 or even a 10-second penalty.
Yeah. So if it's a 5, he will place 5th and bring Oscar up to 4th.
Okay.
If it's a 10, he'll slot between 6th and 7th between Isaac and Lando. So, just wildly unfair.
Yeah.
Lewis had a wildly unfair race.
Yeah, he did.
And then it sort of calmed for the last few laps.
Kind of calmed. I mean, we were very, very, very busy watching the telemetry between Kimmy and Charles, because obviously Charles was leading the race and then Kimmy overtakes, and we were like, he needs to keep within 1 second. He needs to keep within 1 second. He was doing it, and then Ferrari fucked him over. Because Ferrari came over the radio and we were both like, oh, because Ferrari were like, yeah, we've basically changed your engine so that you've got a bit more power. You can keep pushing. It's still on. And we're like, oh, yes, it's still on. No, because they fucked his fucking engine again. Fucking Ferrari.
It wasn't the engine. They gave him more power. I apologise to my neighbours for that entire thing. They gave him more power, which makes the car harder to handle. So suddenly he's fighting it into corners more.
Yeah, and he couldn't control it.
That's the issue.
And all of a sudden he drops from like being within 1 second to 2.5 seconds behind.
Yeah, but he was still 2.5 seconds behind.
I know.
And that's bloody good.
Yeah.
Because what normally happens, and what has been happening in the last few races, is a Mercedes takes over whoever was on first, and then within like 3 laps, they're 10 seconds down the road, and that's literally the end of it. I know. I have a small bias towards Charles Leclerc.
Do you?
Yeah. And I am aware of it, despite popular belief.
Not noticed.
However, the way that man raced today.
Yes.
And if you then couple it with the way he raced in Silverstone.
Yeah.
He is on fire at the moment.
He is.
That's why I disagree with your statement about him getting in his head. He might have been before, but he's not now, because he would not pull out races like that if he were. And they were stonking. That race was amazing. The fact that he kept within that gap of Kimmy was absolutely fantastic. And I had hope for the first couple of laps because he was staying within a second, and I was like, okay, so he can't keep Kimmy behind him, so his only chance is to take him on the final lap. So he needs to stay within a second and then make a move on the final lap so that Kimmy's got no time to come back to him. And I really thought we were going to get there, and then it was just the final like 3 laps when we lost it a little bit. But oh my god, was his drive amazing. It was such a good drive. He got driver of the day.
He did.
As he absolutely should have.
Yeah.
It was a stonking drive.
Well deserved. It was well deserved.
But it was an exceptionally stonking drive from Kimmy as well.
Yeah. Definitely. And Max.
Oh yeah. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen.
Just
I will never understand what that man does to those cars. Because consistently now, for 2 seasons running, he is pulling performances out of those cars that should be impossible.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, illegal. Like, I just don't, amazing. Absolutely amazing. The fact that Max got on the podium at Spa is like...
Yeah. Yeah, especially after what happened to Silverstone as well 2 weeks ago.
Yes, but, you know, within that, they removed the front wing that was trying to kill him.
That is true. That is true.
So I think that's helped.
Yes.
Quite significantly.
Yes. Max clearly did have a little bit of a paddy in the garage.
A major paddy in the garage.
Some people have listened to him, and some people have mentioned that, you know, maybe he shouldn't be as opinionated as he is.
Yeah, that was an interesting press conference, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was sat there after quali yesterday going, well, I'm not going to start complaining that the car doesn't have the power on the straights because I might get shot outside my door. And we all went, oh God, PR's got to him.
Yep.
However, they removed the wing that was trying to kill him.
Yes.
Thank God. And it's made a lot of difference.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't believe that him in third is normal. But it was bloody great, and you can't argue. You can't argue with it at all.
No, not at all. And it's I don't know, I'm starting to have flashbacks of last year. You know?
What did I say earlier?
Yes.
You never count him out.
Never count him out.
You never count anyone out.
No.
This is the thing. But when it comes to the championship, he sits P7 with 91 points. Kimi is in front with 204 points.
Yeah.
So no bigger gap than it was last year.
No.
The only thing that's different is the amount of drivers that are in front of him.
Yeah, and also as well the kind of level playing field that we've got. And I say kind of because yeah. The issue that we've got is that if this was Max in last year's car,
I would be backing him to win the championship.
Yeah.
1,000%. I would be saying to Kimi, be very, very afraid.
However, yes, we've got rid of the rear wing and we've obviously tampered with a few things. And, you know, this is full-on conspiracy mode here.
Oh, go on. I love this.
I think that's why Isaac Hadjar had so many things tampered with his car.
Because he's the guinea pig.
Because he's the guinea pig. And they were seeing exactly what they could change in order to make that car more efficient. Obviously, they've gotten rid of the rear wing with Max because that was a thing that they could do without incurring penalties.
The FIA basically told them to as well.
There is that.
The FIA basically went, this is fundamentally unsafe. You can't keep doing this.
But I think with Isaac this weekend, they've basically gone, right, okay, well, if we're looking at Max's car and ABC, it's similar with Isaac's car, right? Well, let's do it on Isaac's car and see how Isaac compares, and then we'll have a look in the summer break of doing ABC with Max.
Yeah.
And I honestly believe that is going to happen.
I think you could be right.
The changes that have happened with Isaac's car this weekend are going to be the ones that they're able to do over the summer break without incurring penalties. Stop smiling at it.
It's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful pass.
We now have the replay of the race on in the background.
I can't imagine the French/Italian that was sliding out of Charles's mouth as Max just glid past him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's
never count him out.
Never count him out.
Never count him out. Never count out what Red Bull pull out of their back pocket at weird fucking times. And never count out that reliability is our biggest nemesis in this championship.
And not just with Red Bull, with
all every single. There is not a team that has come out unscathed from a Thank you. Yeah,
you're welcome.
From a mechanical reliability point of view.
No.
weirdly, and I can't believe this is about to come out of my mouth, Ferrari have been the best mechanically from a reliability point of view.
Yes,
I
they
can't
have.
believe that.
Yeah. It's just a problem with strategy.
And sometimes they're drivers.
And sometimes they're drivers.
But you only have to have a run of a couple of races where you've had mechanical issues and the entire championship looks different.
Yeah.
So, yes, at the moment, between Max and the lead, there is a couple of McLarens, a couple of Ferraris. The McLarens are pants at reliability at the moment. Absolute pants.
At the moment. But this was a really good race for them.
This was a really good race for them. However, for us to say this was a really good race for them, they finished 5th and 7th.
Well, yes, I know
that's a bit shite, isn't it? It's a bit shite.
I understand what you're saying.
Like, it's not great, is it? Like,
but you know, considering the season that they've had so far.
Yeah, I know. But what's really interesting about this regulation set is that you've just made the top of the field not as good as they used to be, but have got more of them. So there's more teams battling up the top, but their performance isn't as good as it used to be. The midfield has shrunk massively. Like, I would say there are 2 teams in the midfield.
Haas and Alpine.
They are VCarb.
No, I would say VCarb are up there.
Would you put them in the top?
Yeah.
I would call VCarb and Alpine midfield and Haas the top of the bottom.
Okay. What about Audi?
They are the bottom, unfortunately. They just don't have the consistency.
I don't know.
Their mechanical reliability has been... How many times has one of their cars just been sat there smoking on the side of the track?
Yeah, no, I suppose.
So then you've made a massive bottom field as well.
Yeah.
So you've concertinaed... The regs have done, to an extent, what we always want regulations to do, which is make everyone more competitive against each other. Concertina everyone up and make them more comparable to each other so that you've got more of a battle and you haven't got one team just riding off into the sunset with the championship and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
But within that, you have made the most unreliable cars on the planet that it's just not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Like... And this actually was a pretty good race for mechanical reliability. But... So you've concertinaed... sorry, I just watched that move from Charles again, and babe, that was not good. I'm sorry, it just wasn't good.
No, he really should have got a penalty for it.
It's mad, isn't it? What were they looking at?
God knows.
I just don't know anymore. God. Anyway, it's bunched them in the way that we wanted them to.
Yeah.
But it's done other things that we
don't want
them to. And I think this race really orchestrated and really put on blast what we've got going on in these teams.
Yeah.
Which is massive mechanical issues, whether that be reliability from, like, it's just not working and I've got to stop. Cadillac and Aston. Through to my engine doesn't give me the power that I need, or my wing adjust is wrong, and, you know, things like that. It's showing the unsettled nature of the both drivers in teams, in all of the teams. And it's also kind of showing that you've put your energies in the wrong places, i.e. electrical.
Yeah.
And this race has perfectly orchestrated how you can have a fantastic race of racing and of strategy, but how these new regs are weird.
No.
It's weird.
You are correct. It was a fantastic race, though.
It was a really
interesting
race. It was a really good race. And judging by the fact that we've been talking for a very long time.
Yes.
It wasn't a very... And it was an interesting race for, I think, so many reasons beyond the race. And that's why we've been talking for so long.
Yeah.
It's been such a comment on what's going on in the sport at the moment and where we are at the moment.
Yeah.
Beyond... Spa's a great race no matter what.
Yeah. It just popped into my head. Sorry. ADHD. It was a dry Spa.
It was a dry Spa. We had a dry Silverstone. It's a dry Spa.
Ooh.
It's like we're having a heat wave in Europe or something.
Oh my God, are we?
Shocking.
Shit.
I hadn't noticed. But yeah, Spa is always bound to be a good bloody race, no matter what year it is. I can't think of a boring Spa. other than the one where we sat for 5 hours waiting for it to happen, I can't think of a boring spa. And even then, we got some fantastic footage out of that 5 hours of waiting for it.
Yes, thank you to all the mechanics who were working that day.
Yes, because you were all
fabulous.
Comedy. Peak
Absolutely.
comedy.
The best part from that spa, I've got to say, is when they give a pit stop to one of the vans.
That was wonderful, wasn't it? My personal favourite is when they are rowing in the pit lane.
Oh yes, the rowing in the pit lane.
Yeah, and the cups of tea in the shoes.
Yes. Yeah. It was all fantastic.
It was mental. Anyway, what was my point?
Spa is amazing.
Spa is amazing, and Spa will always give you a fantastic race.
Yeah.
But Spa 2026, I think, is going to be a real turning point, a real marker.
Yeah, I think you're right there, and it's gonna be a talking point, I reckon, for the next few days. I mean, obviously we've got Hungary next weekend, so we won't be able to talk about it for as long as we'd like, because we're already
there'll be
immediately
new stuff
back into Hungary. However, I think during the summer break, it will definitely be one of those races that people are going to pick up on and go, right, okay, so we've got the first 3 races of the season.
Yeah.
You know, Australia, China, and Japan, where we were watching it and we were going, ooh, 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 ooh. But then by the time we get to the end of Japan, we're like, oh, so some of those overtakes and some of those fantastic pieces of racing weren't actually racing. It was the new regulations. And then we get to Miami, and Miami was a great race. But it was a great race because of battery deployment.
Yeah.
And we start really watching it and we're going, oh shit.
Yeah.
This is not good. And we start getting the drivers commenting on it.
Yeah.
And we start getting a lot of commentary about how it's affecting the mechanical side of the cars and the mechanical issues and blah, 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 blah. We've got to Spa. Spa is going to be one of those races where people are going to go,
Spa
okay.
really.
So
Spa really showed us something. Do you know what I mean?
And I think what we're going to get from that is these regs are shit. We are not ever going to change our mind on that.
I'm never changing our opinion on that, no.
However, if you get it right, you get your strategy right, and you get your car right, you can have a really good race.
Yeah. If you're not Mercedes.
If you're not Mercedes.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's and what I love about it is we've got a record of our changing opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go back and listen to us early on in the podcast in the first few races,
like Australia and China.
I was going to say Austria. We haven't had that yet.
We did. It was a couple of weeks
back.
No,
we did.
Anyway.
Oh, we haven't had Netherlands yet. Why do I do that?
I don't know.
I do it every year.
You do,
every year. It's not even like it's not even just this year. Every year
every
I
year
do
you
that.
Get those two mixed up.
It's because I'm like, oh, Max's home race.
Yeah, it's not.
It's because it's the Red Bull ring.
It's the Red Bull ring.
Anyway, he's not synonymous with that. We've got a record of us at the beginning of the season going, look at the racing, oh my god, and then realizing not, and then like you've just said, you know, our opinions have shifted and changed. What I love about it is we've got a record of our Delulu and our hopes and our peaks and our troughs and our all of that to see. So fuck knows what our opinion's going to be by the end of it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Lance is going to win the championship or something.
No, he's not. Bless him.
No,
he's not.
No. Poor guy.
So we end up finishing the race.
Oh, sorry, have we not done that?
Not quite. We have
wept.
on the podium, we have Kimi Antonelli in first, Charles Leclerc in second, and Max Verstappen in third.
Which, as podium combinations go, that's probably one of my favourite combinations.
It's definitely one of my favourite combinations.
Love it.
Possibly pipped by Max, Lewis, and Kimi.
That was wonderful, but I think that was contextually wonderful.
Yes. Either way, Max, Ferrari, Kimi. It's a fantastic podium. What?
I find it rude that you went Max, Ferrari, Kimi. And you didn't
because
go
I
Max,
like
Charles.
Lewis. Anyway, doesn't matter.
You leave my driver alone.
Oh, he's your driver now, is he?
He will always be my driver, except
You've got
when
a claim
he's
on him.
doing. I fucking wish. Except for when. Should I say that? It's too late. Except for when he's doing a move on Oscar Piastri that I don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah, that was you were a very naughty boy, Charles.
Then he's not my driver.
So yeah, fantastic podium. And
this podcast is so all over the place today.
It's fine.
Fantastic podium.
Fantastic podium.
Fantastic podium.
Yeah, it was just a fantastic podium.
It was just a fantastic podium.
It was lovely.
It was lovely.
Can we mention the trophies? Because the trophies looked wrong.
The trophies are awful. Like, Spa's a beautiful track, right? Yeah. And normally the trophies have some level of nod to what the track is, shape-wise or whatever, something iconic about it. Initially, you said it looked like...
It looked like a spark plug.
It looked like a spark plug initially, which I can 100% get behind. And then Crofty started going that it looked like a camshaft.
Yeah.
And actually...
Yeah.
I can totally see it. They're ugly as hell.
They're
so really
bad.
not nice trophies.
So bad.
Like... Yeah, no, didn't like them at all. Didn't like them at all.
Right, well, in that case then, thank you very much for listening. This has been an extra long podcast.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about how long it is.
We've had opinions. We've had many opinions.
Yeah, and
yeah. We probably will still have opinions when it comes to Hungary next week. So I hope you enjoy.
Checking that there hasn't been a penalty announcement, but there hasn't.
Right, I'm not surprised.
Well, no, because like I say, it takes 5 million years to make a fucking decision.
We'll probably get something tomorrow night.
Or the second we close your laptop again, because that seems to happen.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode. We've enjoyed this episode, as you can tell by how long we've talked. So see you in Hungary next week. The final race before the summer break.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Don't worry. They may be on a summer break, but we won't be.
We have plans.
We have lots of plans.
And they're probably all going to be previous season related.
Yes.
I think we're finally going to do that Abu Dhabi 2021 episode.
We definitely
That will be a long one, so buckle in for that one. Yeah. Or it'll be really short because we both agree. It'll be 10 minutes of just, should that have happened? No. Brilliant. End of. Thank you for joining us. That could be that. And the other thing that we want to talk about, and I think will be a great summer break episode, is the media heat that some of the drivers are in at the moment with the way that they are conducting their personal lives, which is something that I want to discuss.
Yes.
Because it's fucking unfair. Anyway, we won't go into this right now. But yeah, so basically, don't worry, there will be content.
Yes. So thank you very much for listening. This has been Formula Side Quest, your mostly on-topic Formula One podcast with me, Kelly.
And me, Shannon.
Bye.
Bye.